It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Monday, April 22nd, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. Today is Earth Day, a day when we all celebrate Mother Gaia. Well, unless you're a Christian. We'll leave the earth in a better state than it was. That was part of our command from God to be good stewards of this creation, but celebrating Mother Gaia, not part of that. Today is also, by the way, on the pagan calendar of observances, Ishtar Day. Ishtar, Inanna, the world's first gender-fluid entity. Only a coincidence if you are a coincidence theorist. Topic number 5 today. Israel, aid for Israel, passed the House of Representatives early Saturday morning as part of a package of bills, as we told you last week. House Speaker Mike Johnson, who is under fire from the conservative right inside the Republican Party, separated the bill passed by the Senate for $95 billion in foreign aid, including $60 billion for Ukraine, about $17 billion for Israel, about a smaller amount for Taiwan, and then some other stuff thrown in there in a fourth bill. He separated them out into 4 separate bills, voted on. The Israel bill passed 366 to 58. This includes money for replenishing Israel's Iron Dome and David's Sling missile defense systems, $1.2 billion for the Iron Beam missile defense system, which uses laser technology to neutralize short-range rockets, and other money. But again, Johnson, who before he became Speaker had voted against sending more money to Ukraine, and this is where conservatives in the House are upset, sending another $60 billion to defend Ukraine's borders against Russia in what, over the last 2 years, become apparent that for all intents and purposes, Ukraine has lost that war. The vaunted offensive last summer, as we told you, recovered less than 1% of the territory that it lost in the initial phase of the war. All that we're doing at this point is sending more money down a black hole and wasting more Ukrainian and Russian lives. Anyway, Johnson voted against sending more money to Ukraine before he became Speaker. Now he is pushing the bill that has passed the House, goes on to the Senate. The Senate will consider this package of bills this week. One good thing in the bill for Israel, which we are in favor of, by the way, defending Israel against militant Islam, that is something that should be opposed because Islam has been at war with the rest of the world for 14 centuries. It prohibits funds being spent on the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, or UNRWA. That's the organization in Gaza with workers who've been uncomfortably close, shall we say, to Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Topic number 4, Congress goes full Orwell as part of the activity in Congress over the last few days. This was another bill that was opposed by Speaker Mike Johnson before he became Speaker of the House. Congress passed an extension of FISA, that's the Foreign Intelligence Service Act, extending it for 2 more years, including the expansion of Section 702, which allows for warrantless document searches and electronic surveillance of Americans. This was passed and then the Senate passed early on the morning of April 20th, a FISA reauthorization bill. This directly and specifically violates the 4th Amendment of the United States Constitution, which requires a warrant before the government can start searching through your stuff. But in the modern age, where much of our information is no longer written on paper, but contained electronically, well, that no longer applies in today's America, at least according to Congress and apparently the Supreme Court. See, here's the thing. This warrantless surveillance of our electronic communications and electronic surveillance was challenged in court, but a court actually ruled not on the merits of the case. The court ruled that because this warrantless surveillance is taking place of all Americans, all of us essentially are living in a virtual panopticon right now, that no single American citizen has standing to challenge it in court. In other words, if this surveillance was being conducted just against you, then you could challenge it in court and you would have standing to do so. But because it's being applied to all 360 million of us, no one person can bring a lawsuit to say, hey, this violates the 4th Amendment of the Constitution. As I've said, we are living in a post-privacy society, so please adjust your behavior online accordingly. And here's one final note on this. I find this astonishing, that I would find myself on the same side of an issue with Senator Dick Durbin, the Democrat representing Illinois, he added an amendment at the last minute before it passed the Senate that would have required the government to get a warrant before conducting any communication surveillance on American citizens, and that was shot down by the Senate as a whole. So kudos to Senator Durbin for that. He was partnered with Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican from North Dakota, in proposing that amendment. But again, it failed by a vote of 50 to 42. Topic number 3, moving on. COVID fraud. We spent a lot of money, printed a lot of money, ostensibly to help people during the COVID lockdowns, people who were pushed out of work and refused, not allowed to go to work through no fault of their own. But it turns out that a lot of that money has been flushed down a black hole. It has been wasted. Fraud. And in fact, a number of workers for the Internal Revenue Service have now been charged with stealing COVID funds to buy luxury goods, expensive cars, and take fancy vacations. To quote the famous line from the movie Casablanca, Captain Renault, "I am shocked to find gambling going on in here." You make it easy. They're just pumping money into the economy to keep things from locking down without sufficient checks and balances. Then you wind up with a program that is going to lose billions of dollars, literally $2 billion. According to a report obtained by Judicial Watch, a government watchdog group, over $2 billion lost to fraud. $1.4 billion has been seized or forfeited as the government tries now to scramble and get some of this money back. 3,500 defendants have been charged. Civil settlements involving more than 400 disputes have resulted in judgments of over $100 million. But Judicial Watch pointed out that the government's problem with COVID payments was because the government made it too easy to collect benefits. This became a massive cash giveaway to criminals in many cases. And the report said, quote, back in the fall of 2022, Internal Revenue Service employees got charged with stealing over $1 million from pandemic relief programs to buy luxury goods, fancy cars, and travel. 5 employees from the tax agency in Tennessee and Mississippi easily withdrew the money by filing false loan applications with 2 of the federal stimulus programs, PPP and EIDL. Authorities say they spent the money on designer clothes, an imported car, jewelry, trips to Vegas, and more. And then running out of things to buy, they put the rest in personal investment accounts. They stole so much they couldn't spend it all, and so they invested the rest. Thankfully, they have been caught and charged, but this is just the fraud that we know about. Billions of dollars of our tax money just wasted. But as a wise man once said, Senator Rand Paul, if they could just print more money, why are they even collecting taxes? Topic number 2. Title IX. The Biden administration has unveiled new rules aimed at safeguarding LGBTQ plus students, or at least that's what they claim, changing the way sexual harassment and assault claims are handled on campus. These new provisions, part of a new revised Title IX regulation issued by the Department of Education. Now, this fulfills a campaign promise by Joe Biden, but missing from the new rule, however, is any policy forbidding schools from enacting bans on transgender athletes competing against biological females. In other words, what they've done is by redefining discrimination on the basis of sex, male or female, they've now changed it so that it bans discrimination based on gender identity, meaning that rather than protecting women and giving women equal opportunities in any federal-funded educational institution, it's now protecting the right of men who say they're women to use women's showers and locker rooms and so on. Women are being erased. Title IX was legislation passed by Congress. It should require an act of Congress to change it. The Biden administration, by changing the definition of sex to equal gender identity, is rewriting law, and Congress should step in and stop this. Coming up, continuing with this theme, protecting women in professional wrestling? Next on 5 and 10.
We want to make sure that you know how you can get your copy of this incredible new book in the Summoning the Demon Super Collection. This amazing collection includes Dr. Thomas Horn's final book, Summoning the Demon, Artificial Intelligence and the Image of the Beast, that reveals how tech singularity will bring an all-powerful artificial mind to life. the trigger event that will make 666, the mark of the beast, mandatory overnight. What the future of a marked society will look like. The new face of transhuman supernatural warfare and how Christians must prepare for what is coming. But this incredible collection also includes, for a limited time, the brand new Dr. Thomas Horn Definitive Skywatch TV collection. This unimaginable and historical TV anthology is valued at $99.95 all by itself. It contains a total of 96 episodes, over 45 hours of content on 8 DVDs, and is not available anywhere else or online, and includes classic series like Zenith 2016, The Milieu, Belly of the Beast, Saboteurs, The Wormwood Prophecy, The Messenger, Zeitgeist 2025, Legion, and more. But we're still not finished. You'll also receive Trajectory, tracking the approaching tribulation storm. This unprecedented masterpiece by legendary authors Dr. Thomas Horn, Terry James, Tim Moore, and others provides in-depth analysis of emerging topics like pandemic tidal waves, catastrophic weather changes, Mideast malevolence, and so much more. This unprecedented collection, sold separately, holds a retail value of over $140. Yours now for your donation of only $39.99 plus shipping and handling. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special collection. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Summoning the Demon Super Collection now.
Item number 1 today, protecting women in Oklahoma from transgender wrestlers. Yes, Oklahoma's State Athletic Commission issuing warnings about a dude wrestling in women's competition. This is an all-elite wrestling event in Oklahoma City. Features transgender wrestler Nyla Rose. He's going up against Alejandra the Lion. She is an actual woman, by the way. The warning was issued because in Oklahoma there is a ban on men who say they're women competing against actual women. But there's just one problem here. Professional wrestling is not a real sport. Nyla Rose has been competing for a couple of years. His real name is Brandon DeGroat. That's him on the left on the screen there. That's also him on the right on the screen there. He's essentially a dude in costume wrestling in women's events. Why AEW is allowing this, I don't know. But state of Oklahoma, okay, we appreciate you enforcing this rule, but come on. If professional wrestling was real, Brandon DeGroat would have left a trail of women with broken bones and ended careers in his wake, but that has not happened because it's scripted. It's fake. I was a big fan of NWA, AWA back in the day when I was a kid, too young to realize why these guys who were beating each other up every week after week, never showed any bruises or scars. That never occurred to me, but I was 10. So, yes, protect women from competing against men, but in pro wrestling, I think we can give them a pass. Skywatch TV's Defender Conference, a virtual conference, meaning you set the conference schedule. Still available, 90 days access to 24 presentations, including the last presentation by Dr. Tom Horn. Judd Burton, a real thought-provoking presentation in this conference on the actual location of Babel. Many of us have been taught it was at Babylon. That was a name that was applied to more than one city in the ancient world, by the way, including Nineveh of the Assyrians. There are others, myself included, who concluded it was at a site in southeast Iraq called Eridu. Judd argues that this was actually in Turkey and points out that there is a region in southeast Turkey named Shinar. C with a circumflex, I-N-A-R. Like, oh, that would explain some things. So check that out. That's just one of the presentations you'll get with instant access, by the way, when you sign up at defenderconference.com. That's defenderconference.com. How is artificial intelligence influencing or perhaps fulfilling end times Bible prophecy? That's the theme of the book, Summoning the Demon. Tom Horn's final book. He completed his parts of the manuscript before his passing last year. Joe Artis Horn, Allie Anderson filling out the book, but some very insightful things about how, for example, giving life to the image of the beast might be related to artificial intelligence. Don't miss these programs. Our fourth and final week broadcasting this week. You can watch it over the air. Our broadcast schedule is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can catch it right now at the website where you'll find all of our video content, skywatchtv.com. You can also watch it right now at our Roku or Apple TV channels. That's a good way to do it. You can also go to Rumble, rumble.com/skywatchtv, or better yet, get our free mobile app where you can download all of our content directly to your smartphone or tablet. Yeah, there's an option. You can download the videos to your device so that you can watch it offline. You don't necessarily need to have a good, solid internet connection to watch. Or if you're going to travel somewhere and you're going to be in a plane or anyway, very powerful app, and because it's our app, we won't be canceled. It's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets, and we encourage you to take advantage of it. Download it now. You'll find the links at our website, skywatchtv.com/app. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.